Why Canada is collapsing and nobody can afford to live back. Sounds like the UK.
Canada, which used to have the reputation as a welcoming, friendly country, is now one of the most hostile places to live in the developed world. Now, this isn't because of the people, of course, it's because of the prices.
My bill just keeps going up. It doesn't matter how much I try to cut back, it's constantly going up. And
Yeah,
I
it's
just
like
don't
the
even know what to
UK.
do
It's just the same as the UK. It's just going up.
about it.
They're ripping us off like they're ripping you off.
I feel like they're
Yeah.
all in cahoots.
Over the past few decades, the
That old homie, he's 100% right. They're ripping us off like they're ripping you off. What's going on, Mr. Zooty? How's it going, my brother? Hope you're having a good day.
Ripping us off like they're ripping you off.
I feel like they're all
Damn.
in cahoots.
over the past few decades, the
They're a gang. They're a gang.
cost of living in Canada has gone through the roof, propelled by rising costs in housing, groceries, utilities, and pretty much everything else. Meanwhile, wages have stagnated since 2006, while
good, my
immigration has
brother. I'm
only
just chilling.
increased, and it's led to a wide
We're chilling, father. We're chilling. We're about to see why Canada's collapsing. Nobody can afford to live. It's sounding like the bloody UK. We're suffering. Everyone is suffering.
range of debilitating social issues, like a staggering 20% rise in homelessness since 2018.
Homelessness, we were just speaking about it. What was the word that they tried to use before? Stupid word. What's that? People experiencing homelessness or something like that. No. The unhoused population. Something silly.
It's a process that the government has largely let happen and even encouraged in some cases, as we'll find out later. But the reality
See, look, in Canada, they're a lot like the UK. With a Prime Minister, they've got the House of Commons, where they sit and argue. It's just the same as the UK. Because half of them are French.
that the government has largely let happen and even encouraged in some cases, as we'll find out later. But the reality on the ground is that living in Canada is a question of survival, and for most people, these problems have massive negative impacts on how they live their lives. It's clear from the stats that Canadians are suffering. In the Canadian Social Survey of 2024, nearly half of the respondents said that their budgets couldn't keep up with the rising costs. Canadian household debt is another indicator of how bad it's gotten. Per citizen, it's the highest in the G7. But what really
UK is very close. You see how close the UK was? We're right behind them.
another indicator of how bad it's gotten. Per citizen,
We're there. We're arguably there.
it's the
Look at that. We're arguably there. We're like the US, just a bit worse. It's just a bit harder. Look, we're all fucked. These are the major cities in the world. Nah, there's a couple of others as well, but damn.
the highest in the G7. But what really paints the picture is how Canada's Prime Minister chose to speak to his country and the response he's gotten from his fellow Canadians. Strangely, Trudeau decided that emulating bad YouTube apology videos was the best for his message on immigration.
Is this the Prime Minister right here?
The response was, as you would expect, absolutely terrible, with around 68,000 dislikes and 22,000 likes at the time of this video. In the 7-minute long over-polished video, Trudeau covers the general basics that you'd associate with terrible apology video.
Oh no, not that girl with the ukulele. No, oh no, not her. My question is, we conquered so many countries, 117 to be precise, and we chose this shitty tiny little island to be called the UK. Yeah, but it's probably where they come from, making potatoes. They were so sick of the potatoes, they said, you know what? I have dreams of world empire. And they done it. The power of potatoes.
He
I'm
begins by
joking.
saying he'll admit his mistakes, even though he doesn't really throughout the video. Then he immediately shifts the blame to
The autocorrect trying to get you, boy. Ooh, what's it trying to say? What are you trying to say? I'm joking.
bad actors, despite the fact that he implemented the policies which let it all happen.
Increasingly, bad actors like fake colleges and big chain corporations have been exploiting our immigration system for their own interests. So
Okay.
we're doing something major.
are
We're
you gonna do?
reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years.
The biggest fault with his press release, though, lies in the short section where he diagnoses Canada with a labour shortage. While Trudeau himself doesn't go into much detail about why
Huh?
this is apparently the root cause of Canada's problems, the video does use part of an interview with Dennis Darby, a representative for Canadian industry. He says while talking about Canada's industry that, quote, "We've had a chronic shortage of labour over the past decade. It's the #1 issue."
So we think there needs to be more, and you need to continue to
push that, the pedal to the floor to bring more people into Canada.
This moment has become a focal point in the overwhelming negative response to the video. And of course, lots of the top comments are just people that are astounded by how tone deaf the video is. One of them
it's like he doesn't know that he done it.
writes, "This is like someone who sets fire to everyone's house in the street, then sits them down for a serious conversation on fire safety."
Literally. That comment is God tier. I see you, Father. Franchise City Online. My God, what a bar. That's lyrics right there, man. Shakespeare's like this. Mozart and Beethoven and all the masters, they're like this. Plato, Socrates, they're all there like that. Leonardo DiCaprio, Raphael, and the mighty Michelangelo, they're all there like that. What a comment! I'm blown away.
Another lays blame squarely on Trudeau's shoulders, saying, "People are mad because people born and raised in Canada can't afford to live. You've been talking about housing your entire time in office, and yet the problem has only gotten worse." But the video's insinuation that Canada's problems lie with a labour shortage has been particularly highlighted.
They're like, we're gonna keep, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna kick out all the immigrants, yeah? Alright? For 3 years, we're going to kick out the immigrants, but you know what? We've got a labour shortage, so you know what we might do? Let's bring in immigrants, you know? What are they saying?
Lots of comments denying that it's even true, let alone relevant. It's because it shows just how out of touch Trudeau and the establishment have become to regular Canadians' problems. To back up the point, they took interview quotes with CEOs and senior executives on the biggest problems that they're facing instead. All the while, Trudeau is acting like evil corporations are the real problem, while ignoring the fact that he's the one in charge of regulating them. The reality on the ground, though, is that there are plenty of jobs in Canada, but
because people are raising soft children who grow up soft and end up with a butt plug tail or working shitty jobs. Exactly. That with a furry fetish on the side. They don't go out, they fuck fleshlights their whole life. What's going on? They need help, man. The world's in a dire place, fathers. Oh, do you know what's gonna help us? Common sense. Oh my God, bring it back. Bring it back.
wages have stagnated, so they just don't pay enough to give people good lives, or even keep them out of poverty. The unrelenting cost of living crisis in Canada has been disastrous for the country and its people. No cost is more impactful or substantial than housing, and it means that rising
someone's getting rich. When you see extreme poverty and or you see people suffer, someone's getting rich. Someone's sitting there having some caviar, fucking laughing their head off. They're rich from this demise. That part of society we need to fucking fix as well. That's a stupid thing.
Housing costs have been the biggest factor in the entire crisis. So there's no better way to see how bad things have gotten than by looking at Canada's largest city of Toronto and its terrible housing crisis.
Toronto.
Before we continue, I want to tell you about our video
Oh no. Not adverts.
sponsor. You see,
Oh. It's a wallet. We ain't got money to put wallet in. To put money in the wallet, I mean. We ain't got wallet to put money in. We ain't got money to put the wallet in. What am I saying? I'm buffering. No, thank you, sir. Is he still talking? Oh shit, I'm lowering the volume like an idiot. Okay, yeah, aerodynamic. What does it do? GPS. Alright, cool. I'll give you the quick one. Well, you can get key trackers. Look, you can even attach your keys. Ease of access. You just slide your cards up. Boom, boom, boom. You can even charge your phone on it. How the fuck knows? You could call a helicopter that picks you up and says, "Where's your credit card? Pay first." Wireless tap in. All of that. Lovely.
if you head to extra.com/moon
If you want
and
it,
make
that's
sure
the
to
code.
use the code MOON.
Muh.
Like other
The code is MOON.
countries close to the Arctic Circle, Canada has quite a low population compared to its massive tracts of land. But even with that relatively low population, a large chunk of those people live in a small collection of large cities, over 73% as of 2021. Canada's population and economy is therefore focused on these large cities. Toronto is the crown jewel,
Toronto.
with a population between 6 to 8 million people depending on how you define the city. It's the centre of Canada's financial
6 to 8 million people. It's like London.
sector, and during their time in power,
London's bigger than that, shut up.
Trudeau's coalition government have taken advantage of this imbalance to push forward an agenda focused
London's got 8 million, 9 million people. Geezer, shut up.
on benefiting the wealthy minority
Knocking
in control
about.
of those cities. And it's come at a massive cost to Canada's rural population, but it's also done terrible damage to Canada's urban people as well. A lot of this is because of Canada's
Urban.
descent into a process called financialization. As
Financialization. What even is this? What even is this?
described by Canada's Centre for Housing Rights,
Financialisation.
financialization is when housing transforms from something necessary for survival into a speculative financial asset. Regardless of where you live, you'll probably have seen
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. It's gonna be the Great Divide.
this happen. Over the past 50 years,
And then literally we will have to eat the rich. The poor will have to eat the rich. There's gonna be no choice. It's gonna be nothing. Well then eat them. Eat them. Cannibalism is born in zombies and shit. Fucking hell. Better die quick. I'm joking.
buying a home has gone from an achievable goal on an average salary to something that only the richest can afford. Meanwhile, investors who got involved in the housing market have seen their assets skyrocket in value. But while
Yeah, they're sitting there. They're the ones having caviar and all that going. You remember them ants? Fuck them. This is lovely rose fucking flavoured, piss.
all of this is true, it fails to see the larger point. Financialization isn't just housing becoming a financial
Financialization.
asset, it's the transformation of a whole society
Transformation.
to increase the value of financial assets. Nowhere is
Assets. No, that didn't work.
this worse than Toronto, a city where financialization has been the cause of more than a 40% increase in home prices over the last 5 years alone. But as we'll soon find out, it's also damaged a lot more than just Toronto's housing market.
Toronto. You have to say it like that. It's pronouncing it wrong.
The true cost of Canada's financialization is laid out in the book Critical
Financialization.
Dialogues of Urban Governance, Development and Activism. While it's got a wordy title, the actual content is more straightforward than you'd expect. It's basically a collection of essays with some of them describing just how badly financialization has
Financialization.
messed up both London and Toronto.
Oh, London's got it. We've been living with financialization. Discrimination upon the nation. What an idiot.
Of course, we'll be focusing more on Toronto. As Chapter 14 describes, financialization has lots of different causes, but one of the main ones is the relatively recent globalization
Globalization, internationalization, governance monopolization. All because of financialization. I almost forgot it.
of finance. Even 50 years ago, your options as an investor were mostly limited to your own country.
I've been
You
saying
could
that
invest in
now.
foreign
Almost
companies
forgot it.
pretty easily, but other foreign assets were much harder to get into. But
Yeah.
that's all changed, and now if you want to put your money into foreign housing markets like Toronto's, you easily can. Banks have even created ways of storing
You got money? You got money? No one around here is buying them. Everyone around here is poor. The local people are poor. Fuck them. You want to buy it?
the assets,
We'll
which
give you a
let
special
you buy
deal.
a share in a fraction of lots of other houses rather than just one building or home. It was this process that led to the financial
Buy
crash
shares.
in 2008.
This is
But
what they
it's
do because all the whales come, all the rich bitches come, they go. How many you got? I'll buy them all. Not even affecting their nothing. Nothing got affected, and now they're billionaires now. They was millionaires then, and they're billionaires, and they've got 1 million Bitcoin. They're billionaires. They're billionaires. Trillionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, zillionaire, decillionaire, decemplionaire.
also changed the
George Bush.
very fabric of cities as well. This is where Toronto and Canadian cities as a whole differ from other Western megacities. When the financial markets exploded over the past 50 years and their economic influence increased,
All because of financialization.
Canada was ahead of the curve. Nearly all Western cities' economies have changed their focus from manufacturing to finance and technology. And this changed the cities themselves, as Chapter 9 describes. This has led to rapid gentrification of the inner city.
Yeah, this is happening everywhere. The gentrification, finalization, financialization, discrimination, crumbling nation, Satan. Fuck, that's good. That's escalated quick.
Conversion of many older housing units from rental tenure
The
to owner
quintillionaires
occupation
and
and a slow shift of
quintillionaires.
the
Fucking
immigration
hell.
reception neighborhoods
Money that they would never need. Their father's grandfather's cousin's brother from the future's cousin-in-law and the future son of the son of the son of the son of the father of their cousin wouldn't need no money. They wouldn't need it. Of the father's son in the year 3095, they would not be needing money. Even the year 4062, they still wouldn't need money. Fuck.
into the suburbs. In English, this means as the
Toronto.
city centre becomes the place where all the wealth was created and concentrated, the focus of the city naturally shifted as well. Neighbourhoods closer to the city got more expensive and the old residents got pushed out by investors buying.
This is what they do. They expand it and they go, get out of here, you poor pieces of shit. Fuck off. Spit on you as you're walking by. Oh, why? That hit my eye. You should stop doing that. In the other eye. Oh, fuck. That's these fuckers.
Up the homes.
Greedy.
These old middle or lower class homes were then
Look at that. Look. If you really look with your eyes, if you really look. Chicken coops. It's chicken coops.
either sold to richer people to live in or even converted into much more expensive luxury housing. And as the process continued over decades, its effects reached every part of the city. Any neighborhood with good
Orangutan nation, your mum's room is vacant, your dad eats bacon, my brother's Jamaican, my sister's a pagan. Fuck the nation. Oh fuck.
transport links to the centre got much more expensive, until housing prices in the whole city went sky high. Working people then only got pushed further and further out. Toronto is the financial hub of Canada, so the worst of this.
Let's say like this, Toronto.
But similar things have also happened to the rest of Canada's largest cities, as shown in this graph of Canadian housing prices. So far, all of these things we've talked about are pretty universal across developed economies. So what's made it so bad in Canada specifically? Well, the book we've been discussing so far analyzes all of this in greater detail.
It's just the same as London. Critical dialogues of urban governance, development and activism. London and Toronto. It's the same.
There's a few different reasons for why
It's the same. It's the same.
Canadians have been hit especially hard.
It's the same. Looks just like the UK. Huh? Where are we in the UK? What's this? What are we doing in the UK? What's this? What's this? Where am I? What's that? What's this wand? Why is there a wand there? A staff. There's a staff. And it looks like sort of the bad guy staff. That's not a good guy staff. A good guy staff will be like plain. Will be like plain. That would be plain. This looks like a demon staff. What's this? Well, who are they waiting for? Who's their master? What sort of golden chalice is this? This is like the cane of Satan. What's this? A Baphomet's cane? Beelzebub. Oh my god.
First, Canada's welcoming
even
of
is
foreign
that?
investment into the housing market.
People suffering, people poor. You got that there, probably 3 billion. And that just costs 3 billion. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It just sits there on the desk. What does it do? No, it just sits on the desk. Oh, but people are starving. So what? Huh? Sell that. 3 billion, sell it. Nah. Come here, let me kill you. That's what's going to end up happening.
Market has been disastrous. For example,
I don't want violence, but shit.
a report on Vancouver and Victoria's housing markets showed that over 6 billion Canadian dollars
How gangs use Vancouver's real estate market to launder $5 billion. Give us a fucking... Give us a couple of grand. Fucking help us out. Shit.
have been laundered and invested by multinational criminal organizations, and that figure will most likely pale in comparison to the so-called legitimate foreign investment as well. It was only a few years ago in 2018 that Toronto started
it's still coming with bars. Finalization. Can't get rich in my nation. The earth's in rotation. And we still keep our people straight in hole. Bumhole. Bumhole. And that rhyme with bumhole. I'm joking. Toronto considers a new tax on foreign home buyers.
Taxing foreign housing market investment above domestic investors. But the problem is also with the policy and the central government. Canada went above and beyond other Western economies in catering to speculative investment in the housing market. Chapter 9 of the book explains how this happened in a few short steps. First, the Canadian government made sure that investors could get credit from the government pretty much risk-free with virtually no interest. The advertised reason for this move was to stimulate the economy with more private investment, but it didn't quite work out that way. Instead, the massive amounts of free credit and easy borrowed money created a gold rush for investors. They started bidding wars for homes, massively increasing the prices. A lot of this investment was focused on rental properties, either so that the rent could then be increased or just to turn them into second homes. And this brings us right back to reality. And the
money. That's what they're doing.
Outstandingly poor rental.
It. That looks like the UK. It honestly looks like the UK. The British went there and built it all, I swear. What's happening? That looks like fucking Parliament, where Parliament and all that. That looks like a little Big Ben over there. What's going on? What's this?
Market in Canada. Let's go over what we've just been talking about.
Man just wrote a whole song there in the chat. Let's go.
Gentrification and the transformation of cities decreased the supply of rental properties. Foreign investment decreased the supply of rental properties. And finally, the Canadian government's decision to create a housing market feeding frenzy made things even worse.
You see all of this because of financialization.
There have been plenty of other factors that we don't really have time to explore here, like Canada's welcoming of short-term lets. The Airbnb market in Canadian cities is absolutely massive, and each one is a home that could have gone to someone who...
I'm saying the whales are going in there and going, what's for sale? I'll buy it all. All of it, I'll buy it all. I rent it on Airbnb. Airbnb. In 1 year, I will recuperate all my monies. I will get rich. Fuck you people. Fuck this country. Off on a jet. Okay. Give us a quid. Give us a fucking quid. We need a cup of tea. You can't. We're fucking starving.
Actually lives there. But the results are the same. Regular people have been pushed out of their homes, and barely anyone can afford to live in these cities anymore. Now, to even survive in Toronto, you need to
make it... That's the plan. They want to push them out. Get out, you poor fucks. We can't kick you out legally, like we can't, because that's inhumane. We'll buy everything up, make it super expensive. Get out. Oh, fuck off. Go into the river. The ocean. Go in the ocean.
60,000 a year. Honestly, it's more like 80,000 if you actually want to own any possessions. In the other large cities, it's a little bit better, but...
And the other what? Shitties. Did he say shitties? Because he's absolutely right if he said shitties.
More like 80,000 if you actually want to own any possessions. In the other large cities, it's a little...
He didn't say shitties. This is... I don't think he even meant it. Moon is a nice guy. I don't think he meant it. Shitties.
Honestly, it's more like 80,000 if you actually want to own any possessions. In the other large cities, it's a little bit better, but that really isn't saying much. So why did they let all of this happen? We can give a pretty simple answer based on basic speculation. It's simply the fact that all of this has made a few powerful people filthy rich. The people who control policy are also the people who own lots of assets and benefit from skyrocketing house prices. They don't care what
octopus of evil
happens to regular people. They'll push the prices as high as they can as long as people still show up to work every day. It's in this way that high housing prices...
Swear down, people just have to not go to work. Just stop in protest. Just a week. Even a day. Every person though. Everyone has to be utter standstill. And then they'll collapse.
Are a symptom of how unequal the economy...
Because it's dependent on that. It's a machine. It's like the horse's legs. The horse's legs. We're on top of the horse. So imagine this. This is society. We're on top of a horse. Fucking. The rich. The human is the rich. The horse is us, the people. Fucking galloping, and they're just on the horse forever, just riding to the horizon. They're just fucking riding. And their number one concern is not to feed the horse, not the concern for the horse's legs. Fuck all that. It's just ride. You fucking ride till the fucking legs go. And while they're riding the fucking horse, they're like pumping it with drugs, pumping it with fucking horse shit, and pumping it with fucking, you know, nanobots to make sure the legs never run out of fucking juice. That's what's going on. Slowly the horse is fucking crap. It's like this. It's got 3 legs. It's hobbling. It's not running no more. It's hobbling. Waddling.
But high housing prices and particularly high rental prices also creates lots of problems for society by themselves. First, there's the direct cost to companies. Commercial rents have shot up along with residential rents, forcing many businesses to close under the pressure. It's a massive factor on its own, but the problem goes deeper than that. Overall, 33% of Canadians rent, but it's much higher in the cities. In Toronto, it's 48%. Quebec City is at 49%. Vancouver's at around 55%, and in Montreal, over 60% of the residents are renting. As the rents in all of those cities have skyrocketed in recent years, wages
London must be 100% rent.
have also stagnated. In fact, they've even gone backwards compared to inflation and the cost of living.
They've gone backwards, look. Average hourly wage in Canada can barely budge in... What the fuck? It's a cold world out there, boys.
You can tell by looking at a stat called real GDP per capita, and it measures how much the average citizen of a country earns.
Citizen. He can't say... I swear he can't say citizen. I think he can't say the S's. Is that what I'm hearing? Because he said citizen. He said... Every citizen. Listen, did I hear that right? He's got a lisp. Citizen.
That called real GDP per capita, and it measures how much the average citizen... You can tell by looking at a...
That shouldn't be funny. But it's funny, man.
That called real GDP per capita, and it measures how much the average citizen of a country earns adjusted to inflation. So looking at it will tell you how much real buying power the average person really has. This is a graph comparing...
Ain't got shit, mate. Citizens got fuck all. They got shit. They're called citizens for a reason. Help us, Lord.
From Canada's real GDP per capita to the USA's, and it's not pretty. It's not like people in the US are having a great time, but in Canada it's been getting even worse in the past few years. Now we're at a point where the wage problem has gotten so bad that across the board, Canadians have lower salaries than people from the US. It doesn't matter which state or province you compare. The housing crisis has also played a large role in this. People who are forced to spend over 50% of their paycheck towards rent don't have much disposable income. When all you can focus on is surviving, there's not much time for thriving. And this has a knock-on effect on the rest of the economy in a way that's hard to measure.
They've designed it in a way like that, so you're just fucked. There's no prosperity. You're just literally a slave of survival. Remember that horse I spoke of earlier? That. Just fucked.
Paper, but the results are clear in practice. The nightlife industry has been...
But sometimes the horse bucks the rider off and breaks his fucking neck. And sometimes goes back and even kicks him in the head again. Or kicks him in the face. Sometimes when the fucking rider's coming to get on the horse, sometimes the horse bites the rider's face off. It happens.
Hit particularly hard. Its recent struggles are symptomatic of the...
Give me that face.
...wider problem. A report by a research firm called Ibis World showed that over the last 5 years, Canada's nightlife industry contracted by over 4%. The shutdown caused lots of damage, but nightclubs and bars fail to recover afterwards because people just don't have enough money to justify going out very often, if at all. And this is creating a deadly spiral. Rents go up and nightclubs have to charge even more to stay open. And this...
Ain't no one gonna get no pussy. There's no pussy nowhere. No population, nothing. Demise. No one can get pussy. You can't get in the club. How much does it cost? A mortgage. Fuck. A mortgage? Yeah, it costs a mortgage to get in here, mate. You got a yearly fee. Huh? I just want to get one drink. Just go in there, one drink. Saw a little piffy going there. I want to go in there. Hopefully, you know, get me dick wet. Huh? 50,000 quid? Fuck off. What are they charging at the doors?
Makes them less attractive to people already paying massive rent bills every month, and so they get less customers. Less customers then means they have to charge even more, and it goes on.
clubs abandoned. You just see fucking tumbleweeds and shit. A shootout could happen at any moment.
On and on until they have to close. This industry has been hit particularly hard because of their unusual clientele. Young people are the most likely to go out, but they're also more likely to be renting and have less income than older people. But we've still seen the same effects across the whole of the Canadian economy.
They need to be making the everything cheap. Cheap life. Cheap. I'm talking really cheap. How much is a bottle of water? Oh, that's 5p. I'm talking really cheap. How much is milk? I don't even know the price. 4p. Go on 4p. How much is bread? 6p. Go 6p. It's all under 10p. That's what we fucking need. And then the wages need to be 100, 200 quid an hour. You see a good life then.
Less disposable income means less consumption.
People be like, absolute ballers. You just be going you pop to the shop and come back richer. Because people just be happy, they give you money.
Consumer spending.
Nah, that's what I want. Good society, happy society.
Businesses jack up their prices to compensate, and the same.
How much does that house cost? $1,000? You know what? Yeah, I'll buy it. Go on.
Deadly spiral comes into effect. Of course, lots of corporations also use the crisis to hike up prices even further, while lining their executives and their shareholders' pockets.
Yeah, because they're pigs. All they are is selfish pigs. They just think about themselves.
And the end result of all of this is that it just makes life worse.
I go, what about your workers? You're going to increase their wages? Nah. I never increase their wages. Fuck off and get me a cup of tea, you slave. That's how their mentality is.
Have to think about it all the time, like making sure you.
Why would I care about the people? Fuck them. I must care for me and my family. But you're a multi-billionaire, my friend. Can you not donate? No. Fuck that. They're like, no. God forbid. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Well, all right, then give them a pay rise then. At least $20 an hour. How about that? He goes, nah, never. Over my dead body. Huh? Well, come here, let me kill you.
Only buy the cheapest versions of food, or even limiting your diet entirely based on what's cheaper. For the people who've been...
Man, violence is not the way, but man, you can only keep slapping a person who's already cornered. Man, I need to eat. Slap, shut the fuck up. I ain't got a roof. Shut the fuck up. Slap. You could keep doing that to person. Till that person's gonna not get slapped no more. You're gonna get fucked up. There's a variety of ways you could get fucked up. But just allowing it now. Just taking it for a bit. But there's a boiling point. And when the boiling point is reached, nuts might be grabbed. Don't know. Eyeballs might be grabbed. You don't know. Ears might be ripped. Faces might get bit. Noses might get ripped. You don't know. A right hook might come and knock your life away. You don't know that. That guy's going to have enough in that corner from getting battered and slapped.
And hit the hardest, it becomes a question of which bill
Give me your lunch money.
you can afford to not pay. Often food is one of the first things you have to give up. Then there's the non-essentials. Things you could only afford as rare luxuries like holidays or meals out at restaurants are now completely off the table. This brings us right back.
All bars, restaurants, airports are just going to shut down. Shut them down. No one needs them. Why you got an airport for? Shut it down. How about just in case? Shut the airport down. No one needs an airport. Shut it down. Shut the pub. No one's got money for beer. Shut up. And shut up. To tell you that and say shut up on top of that. Huh? Come here, let me kill you.
Back round to Trudeau's YouTube apology about immigration and his assertion that Canada's problem is a labour shortage. This comes as an insult to people who are working as hard as they can but just aren't getting a fair deal from their country for it. Working long hours just to scrape by is easily comparable.
You get booped. You get bumped on every front. You're getting bumped on you're getting conned on the rent. You're getting conned on every single item that you purchase. Con. They should make that the noise when you're doing, and even self-service. This is how stupid we are. They've made us so dumb. They've hiked the prices till it's like fucking skyrocketed, and then you go to the shop and you work. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you go to the shop and you put in a shift, beeping your own items. Oh man, how the fuck does you put this on this stupid scale, piece of shit scale? Spitting on it, punching it, shit. You're doing a shift. Then you got to bag up your items. Huh? You meant to go to the supermarket, put your shit there, someone does it. You go. You just stand there like that. Be careful with them eggs. Yeah. beep, beep. That's all you're hearing. Con, 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 con. You're just like that. And then you're the master, and then you pay. Then you carry your stuff out. That's how it's meant to be. Now we're putting in a fucking shift and then paying triple the amount. What's going on? One day that boy's going to stop getting slapped in that corner. He's going to... A jumping headbutt. Oof. Imagine that from someone who's shorter than you. That's there, to that region of the face. Because you're not expecting it. You're slapping them and they just jump, go... Your face is finished. Chin area, face, finished. Tatters. And then they follow that with a fucking unanimous left. Fuck it now.
To the effects that long-term unemployment has on people. You get the same worries with it, like the stress of not knowing whether you'll make it through the next month, or how far into the future you can go on for. But at the same time, you still have to work long hours every day. Wages have stagnated for years, prices are still rising, and a third of Canadian renters can't afford their rent. And it's no wonder then that so many people are slipping through the cracks when they're being squeezed this hard. Canada is now on track to have over 500,000...
Google says average is £7 to £10 per person, average nightclub entries. That's stupid. So that's about $11 to $17. Get the fuck out of it. Ain't no one going out. Everyone's going, you know what? I've got something to do. I'm staying at home. That's it. Alright? I'm not coming out, guys. I'll see you later. Have fun. Put the phone on silent mode. Turn it sideways. Put the VPN on. Pornhub.
Homeless people by 2030. The streets and the shelters are overflowing, and tent cities have become a common sight in most large Canadian cities. And this is particularly awful in Canada, where temperatures drop well below freezing for months at a time. Homeless...
Oh, we think it's cold here. They're over there like that. Literally, they're like that. Fucking put a bottle of water out and like this. Imagine this is the window. You put the bottle out and go, it's ice.
Homelessness and poverty breeds crime and drug use. It might not be long before Canada loses its reputation for beauty and friendliness precisely because its government has been so harsh to its people. Immigration is wrapped up in this as well, and it's another reason the situation in Canada specifically has become...
Yeah, these places are free entry. Yeah, they're free entry, but the drinks cost, you know, a house. It costs a house. You go sleep, wake up to like receipts that... Mum, I've lost everything. What? You saved a few grand? It's gone, Mum. Where did you go? It says Ministry of Sand. Told you not to go there, son. It cost a house for a drink. Fuck. Then you get a loan, and then you're finished. After the loan, demise. That's a very, very bleak outlook, isn't it? But yeah. It's not going to be like that for long. People are going to be like that. Excuse me? Hey, give me that face.
Becomes so dire. Trudeau
and then the other politicians are going to go, oh, fuck, we better get in line. His face got ripped off. Yeah. People will be like that in their shocking numbers. A policeman will start taking off their uniforms. Fuck this shit. Army men will start, generals will start taking off their... They'll go, actually, I'm going to use my platoon for the people. Come on, man, let's go. Defecting. You're going to see a lot of that in this dystopian world of mine.
The wider establishment have been happy to facilitate mass migration into Canada for years because it suits their interests. More immigrants means more working people to fill jobs and a more productive economy. At least...
That's what they do. What an evil tactic. Pure evil, a Thatcher tactic. Pure evil. Make your people broke. Imagine that. Make your own people broke. Houses they can't afford them. But you need labour. This is the issue. You need labour, you need people to work. Your people, they're not going to work. It's a shit wage and they're working, but it's not enough. Then you go out and you get foreign labour. Pay them even cheaper, but to them it's amazing. How evil is that? Instead of raising the national wage so everyone gets a bit more happier, a bit more funds are loosened up for them to use and play around with, you know, save for a house, do this, do that. You know, instead of doing that, they go, nah, let's get foreign aid. Let's go and recruit from, a lesser economy. Bring them in. They've got loads of people. Bring them in. We could pay them cheaper as well. Imagine that. That's proper fucking greed. And that's why eventually someone's going to come and go, well, excuse me, mate. He's going to go, yes, I'm eating my caviar. Leave me alone. Go, give me that fucking face. And just eat his face.
least that's how the theory went, but it fails to consider all the negative effects that immigration has had. Nearly everyone who moves to a country either temporarily or permanently is looking for work, but they also need a place to stay, and this only adds fuel to the housing crisis fire. More demand means higher prices, and recent migrants are much more likely to be renting a place than buying it, meaning migration has an outsized effect on the rental market in particular. Crumbling under an overwhelming wave of public opinion, Trudeau has finally announced that Canada will be limiting immigration more for the next few years at least.
We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada.
Yeah, you should say, this is so easy, man. I swear, politicians, sometimes they need to be taken to the back of the alley and slapped up a little bit, and and then fixed up after. Slap them up a bit, tell them what's going on, and then fixed up. Say, man, you're a good guy anyway, man. Kiss him and stuff. Yeah, how's your mother and all that? Take him into the bar, have a few drinks, and then just before he leaves, say, you remember, yeah? Go, yeah. And then he does a good job. That's sometimes what they need. A little shaking and baking, we used to call it back in the day. You need a little shake-up, mate. Come here, give you a fucking shake-up. Let me straighten you out a little bit, guys. That's why they need a bit of straightening. It's so simple. You should have just went, we're going to close immigration for at least 3 years. So that means no more foreigners getting in, taking in the jobs and all that, yeah? But listen to this. We're raising we're raising the national minimum wage, yeah? So it's going to go up by at least 2/3. How about that? 2/3. Gonna get that 2/3. And you know what the cherry on top of this pie is? Tax slashed in half. Have a party, people. You know what, mate? I'm gonna have a line of cocaine. Even if he said I'm gonna go have a line of cocaine, people will be like, go have that fucking line of cocaine. You deserve it, you legend. Let me have a line. That's what people will be saying. They won't be shocked. They'll be jubilant.
For the next 3 years.
For lots of people, though, it's a little bit too late. We can be sure that the move definitely has nothing to do with his upcoming re-election campaign and his historically low approval ratings. For a lot of Canadians at this point, any kind of change at the top would be a welcome relief. From nearly a decade of the same government, but these long-term problems aren't going to reverse themselves anytime soon, and it could be a long time before Canada can get back on its feet once again.
They need a shake-up. They need to grab it. Come here, shoo. I told you to do a good job. It's the people you're talking about. Slap, slap. Slap, slap. Look at the house that you live in, you bastard. Look. Slap, slap. It's for the people, remember. Your mother's a good woman, man. How is she? Let's go have a beer. That's what they need.